Chair, Professor Myrna Santiago.
There we go. You took exactly 5 minutes. I'm going to aim for the same. But off the cuff and without notes. Because I really didn't know what the question, I thought I was going to answer a different question, so I was still trying to think about this. But in 5 minutes, I would say that the Lasallian core principles are not reality. They are principles, right? They're aspirations. They're like the Constitution of the US, the Universal Declarations of Human Rights, which when the students read it, it's like, none of this is true. I was like, no, it doesn't reflect reality. It reflects aspiration, right? These are aspirational. These are how we see ourselves or how we hope to see ourselves in our community. But as such, because they're aspirational, they don't become real just because we say they are, or just because we wish they were, or just because we have good intentions. Like any other principles, the only way in which any and all of the Lasallian principles become reality is in the rough and tumble of everyday lived reality in politics, and at whatever level you live that reality in those politics, in the dorms, in the cafeteria, in the locker room, in the classroom, in the committees, and everywhere in which we are, because we are the real world, as much as often we sometimes pretend like it's not, or often as students, as young people feel this is not the real world. The real world is what's going to happen after I graduate from college. It is the real world, here, now, even if the principles are not reality, not yet. So the way in which we make these realities is then by choice, by making a very deliberate, by making a very conscious, by making a very thoughtful choice about what kind of a community do we want to be, and then how are we going to get there. And as much as we would like to think that we are all on the same page because we have these principles, we're just not, right? There is a breadth of people and a breadth of ideas and a diversity of backgrounds and everything else. So we're not going to agree. It is the real world. So the question is, how do we get to a place that takes us closer to these principles? And that is in the art of everyday negotiation and everyday conversation, and everyday arm twisting, and everyday convincing, and everyday sweet talking, and everyday tools that we use to try to make our dreams come true. So to me, the Lasallian core principles are the dream, but the way you get there is through just practice and thinking and questioning and convincing and finding the people that maybe think like you, or finding the people that could illustrate some more of this, and being willing to take the risk that if this is the dream, and we have to find ways to turning into reality. And then once you make that as a conscious decision, you take it on as an identity, if you will, that this is my life's path, that this is my life's work, and that this is my life's commitment. The ways in which I'm going to operate in the real world, which is the St. Mary's everyday world, is by practicing these principles as if they were already reality. And I'm going to take my friends with me, and I'm going to live them to the best possible way that I can in every single forum that I may find myself in, even if I am in the minority. And we often will be in the minority, right? Because in the world that we live in, dreamers are not necessarily seen as the goal or as the aspirational or as what we should be. We're not encouraged to be dreamers at the beginning of the 21st century in post-capitalist society. On the contrary, we should all be cogs in this gigantic, awful machine. I refuse to do that. So my The way I live my life at St. Mary's, in my classroom, in my office, in my advising, in my committee work, in my relationship with my colleagues, and certainly in the relationship with students, is that I am trying to turn those principles and aspirations into operational concepts. And I won't always get them right, and I will commit grave faux pas that will make me turn very, very red, and that might make me have to apologize to people. But, you know, if we were all perfect, we wouldn't need to dream. We would already be there. So, thank you.